All right, so this is going to be a reading for Leo. And for the Leo that I'm speaking to today, I'm seeing that you're on the precipice of something new. There's a new beginning, a new adventure that's awaiting you. It looks like you kind of left behind some things in your past. And it really opened up the space for something new. And this is a theme in a lot of the readings lately, is that people are kind of in that in-between space between ending something or closing something out and then moving on to something entirely new. And I see you being really open to that, really ready to go. Many of you may be traveling, or just getting a little bit more out of your comfort zone than usual, meeting new people, that kind of thing. So it's a really great energy to have. But I see you really weighed down because you don't know exactly what's going to happen, or you don't know how it's going to happen. And that lack of clarity seems to be really stressing you out and really weighing you down. With the oracle cards for today being control, receptivity, and letting go, Spirit's asking you to let go of control and let go specifically of knowing the outcome of what's going to happen so that you can receive from the universe. And especially if you're someone who's used to kind of going after what you want, chasing after what you want, pursuing what you want, and kind of, making it happen through your own energy, you may be kind of used to having to be in control or having to have all the pieces put together. And Spirit's saying for this next phase of your life, for this next leg of your journey, you're not going to have to know what's going to happen next. And if anything, you shouldn't know what's going to happen next. And it's more that it's important that the universe can just bring those things to you. I see a lot of things landing in your lap. I see a lot of opportunities and friendships and exciting new beginnings landing in your lap. And in order for you to receive those things, you're going to have to be open to them and you're going to have to let go of expectations. So I'm going to dive into the tarot here, but before I do, I just want to say thank you so much for being here, Leo, and for receiving this reading. If you would like a personal reading, I do offer personal readings. You can email me. My email is available down below in the description box. And if you would like to lend your energy to my readings so that I can manifest messages that align more with what's going on for you, you can like and subscribe. But let's get into it, Leo. So, in the recent past, I see that some of you may have been debating whether to stay or go in a certain situation. And I'm kind of seeing that ultimately you decided to move forward for many of you, but you still had your doubts. For others of you, you could still kind of be in this energy of being like, okay, like, I know I'm moving forward, or I know I need to move forward, but because you don't know what's coming next, you keep kind of looking back. And so there could be like a situation that ended and you know it's done and you're mostly okay with it, but because you don't have anything else to kind of fill that space, you keep kind of looking back at it and just kind of thinking about it or just kind of focusing your energy on it, when actually you could be kind of looking forward because you are moving forward, but it's almost like you're moving forward with your head turned over your shoulder. And so it's kind of important to look where you're going because there are some interesting energies coming up for you. But let's take a look at what went on in the past. Yeah, so something ended here, or you brought something to an end in order to kind of be more stable as an individual. You're kind of showing me like a shaving off process, of like a whole. So there was like some structure, something that maybe certain parts of it weren't lending to your security or to your stability, and so you're saying, yeah, I kind of just chipped away at that, or I cut off some things that weren't working. That could have been like certain friendships or just certain things that your energy were focusing on that maybe wasn't serving you, and ultimately you were like, you know what, I think I'd be better off kind of without those things. There could be something also that you're considering closing off. You kind of knew you needed to move on from it and be solitary from whatever it was, but there was kind of this back and forth in your head of, should I really end this? Does it really need to leave my life? Do I really need to kind of move forward? Let's take a look at why you want to move forward from this. there's a question of, does it really serve me? Does it really make me confident? Does it really make me feel good? Or does it make me stressed out? Does it make me anxious? And I'm kind of seeing that both energies are there for you. Like sometimes it makes you feel good, but a lot of the time it makes you really anxious, and both things kind of coexist. And so I see you kind of looking at it and saying, like, is it really worth the good stuff if it's this bad in a way? And so that's why you're kind of thinking like, okay, I need to move forward from this, or maybe you were thinking you needed to move forward from it because after a certain point, the bad kind of started to outweigh the good, or it could have been, I'm seeing that like day to day, it seemed pretty good, but then there was something about it that might have been keeping you up at night, or just like this kind of nagging feeling that was actually really stressful, and it could have been really confusing for you as well, of like, if this is supposed to be good or it's supposed to make me feel good, then why is it actually making me so stressed out? And I see you kind of just beginning to like ask yourself that question, and as soon as you ask that question, you're kind of like, oh, I think I need to move on from this if I'm going to feel better. And it's interesting because it comes through as something that you were considering ending in the past. So some of you may have actually fully ended out this situation, and this is why. For others of you, you're kind of currently in the process of figuring out if you need to move on and why. Let's see why you're kind of looking back at the situation, or what sort of hang-ups you have around it. You may have taken steps to close this out, but then once you did, it actually was harder to move on from than you thought, or like actually fully making the decision to close it out and give it the space that it needed and heal it. Like maybe that process was harder than you were expecting, or maybe you kind of just impulsively close this out, or you felt like you kind of rushed into closing it out because you kind of knew that you needed to on some level, but you didn't really think it through. You just kind of went for it. That's for some of you, not all of you. And then once you kind of closed it out, there was this moment of like, wait a minute, like this kind of sucks, because there were good parts of it. And so I see you kind of maybe needing to move through the energies of the good and the bad, and really consider that there were some good things in this, and like honor that for yourself, but then also that there were some negative things in this, and that there was a reason that you broke up with this. I don't know why I just said broke up with this. For some of you, it could definitely be a relationship, whether that's a friendship or a romantic relationship. For others of you, it could be like a physical breaking away, like maybe you moved away from somewhere or something like that, or maybe something physically broke in this process. I don't know. That was weird. I usually don't just like say stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, I see that you kind of were just like, okay, I feel like I need to end this, so I'm going to end this. But then you're like, wait, was that the right decision? Or there's like a part of you that you question if it was the right decision, because there's something difficult about moving on from it. And overall, I see that it was the right decision, and it was definitely sort of a head over heart decision of like, all right, I kind of just have to close this down. And yeah. All right, let's move forward. Let's take a look at the current energy. I see that there's quite a bit of support around you as you move on from this. Whether that's in the form of friendship or material resources, or maybe you have like a passion project going on, or maybe all of those things. There's just like a lot of positive energy that's currently around you, and this sort of situation was just kind of one sort of tree branch of your life, but there's actually many other branches of your life kind of coming off. You could be holding on to the love that you felt in this situation, because there definitely was a lot of love, and I see that it's taking you some time to move through. In the current energy, it's taking you time to move through the experience of having to leave that behind. There could be times where you feel sort of like pangs of like missing whatever this was, or you feel really attached to it, is really what I'm seeing. There could be this feeling of like, if I don't have that situation, I'm not going to excuse me, receive love, which obviously isn't true, but that's the way that it kind of shows up for you, is this feeling of like, that was my fountain of love. Like, that's where I got my love from, in a way. Even if you do have other love in your life, you're showing me like, this is kind of how you perceive that situation. Was it gave you a certain sense of nurturing or care that maybe you feel like you don't get from anywhere else, or you won't get from anywhere else. And that comes through as like not true and kind of something that holds you back. Yeah, your intuition is trying to tell you to take a look at that feeling of like, why do you think that you're only going to get love from that place? Your higher self kind of wants you to look at the ways that you have a limiting belief around love, around thinking that it can only come through in a certain way or in a certain situation, because it's actually kind of keeping you a little bit stuck in your mind and within your circumstances, because maybe you're not looking outside of yourself for love. And especially when it comes to the act of receiving love, you may not always be open to receiving love because you are attached to only receiving it from this one source. So you think, if I'm not getting it from this one source, then it doesn't exist. And not that you're even thinking that consciously, but just that is how your energy is kind of being contained right now. And that's why Spirit's kind of stressing that it's important that you're able to receive. Oh, it started raining. Okay. So, I'm seeing that over time, there's going to be someone that comes in to offer you love and offer you support, and it comes in as actually being like a gift from the universe, and it also comes in as something that's not going to come in until you're ready for it. So it's something that you kind of have to be open to receiving. It is in your present energy, so this could be someone or an energy that is already around you that you already know, but also I'm getting this sense of like time passing and healing taking place, and so somewhere within that process, this energy comes in as a very supportive, stable, kind of grounding energy that is really reliable and like will show up to love you. What else can we get about this energy? Strong masculine energy and strong earth energy. So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn could be significant in some way. There's someone who like kind of is like looking for ways to love you, or like looking for ways to support you, or maybe they find a lot of things very attractive about you, or they're going to be supportive in a number of ways. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm kind of seeing that either you don't know that you're manifesting this, or you are kind of in denial that you're manifesting this. I'm kind of seeing it more that like you don't know that you're manifesting this because you're not open to receiving love. And if you were truly open to receiving the universe's love, you would be like, oh, like obviously, like this is right there next to me, because this energy shows up very close in your energy. So if it hasn't shown up consciously in your life, it could just be that it's out there but you're not recognizing it, and it has to do with your ability to give and receive love, and the fact that, you know, this person has a lot of love to give to you, or this energy has a lot of love to give to you, but if you're not open to receiving it, you're not open to receiving it, you know. Okay, let us move forward. In the future, I see you kind of grappling with your pain. You're going to start to work through this, and there's going to be more that kind of rears its head, like more wounding or more around your wounding that you're going to kind of have the strength to move through. Let's take a look at that. Again, this situation, whatever it was, like, it really racked your confidence in, like, love, in the universe, in connections, and you may not even realize how much you're holding back your own energy from the world around you. But there's some type of wound that's there for you that has really closed you off from other people. And it's going to come up in the future until you kind of deal with it. Because the universe wants you to be open and wants you to receive, and also wants, like, the world wants you. The world wants your energy, and the world wants to give to you and support you. And if you're not open to that, like, it's just not, the energy is not going to be able to flow. And I do see you being kind of closed off, and Spirit's kind of asking you to take a look at, like, the way that wound and kind of wrestle with it. And I see you wrestling with it in the future. Yeah, there's almost this part of you that wants to, like, run away from other people, and you're telling me, like, look at all the times that it failed. And not just this one time, but, like, all the times, you know? And you're like, what's wrong with running away? Like, if anything, I should just run away faster. And there's a part of you that's going to struggle with that, and that's going to try to hold yourself back and be like, no, Leo, like, you should stay in connection with people and try to connect with them, because you know on some level that you're supposed to, or that it's good, but actually you're just going to get triggered. You know, you're just going to get upset if you force yourself to stay in a situation that you don't want to be in. So it's kind of a catch-22, because you want to run, you know you shouldn't run, you hold yourself there, but then you get upset because you don't want to be there. And it's like the actual wound that needs to be addressed is the wound around connection and receptivity, and how you don't trust other people, or you don't believe that they could really love you, or you believe that everything ends in failure. Like, all of those types of energies, they're really asking to be grappled with, and I see you kind of moving through them in the future. It's kind of important that you move through this, because eventually someone's going to come in and it's going to feel like a soul connection. And at first they're just going to offer you a little bit of energy or attention. And it's just going to be like the smallest little taste, but it's going to be so powerful for you. And it's going to be a chance to connect again. And it's really important, actually, that you're open to that, and that, you know, you're not in this place of running away and holding yourself in place and back and forth and, you know, being cranky and then not being cranky, because you need to be open when those energies come in to receive. And you may receive a lot of different positive energies and some negative energies, and it's important that you're able to kind of move through them from a centered place of, you know, what is it that I want, and do I like this, and does it make me feel good? Not mired in these energies of struggle and stress and blah 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 blah. Your advice from the universe is, it's gonna be hard for a little bit. It's going to be a little bit stressful and strange while you're in these energies of, you know, not trusting and not being able to receive. And it's kind of up to you to open up to something deeper in the universe and to trust that there's something more coming for you. Because the only one who can kind of unlock that is you. So that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that this helps. I hope that this resonates, and I'll see you next time.